the late game execution stuff. JJ and AD talked about being happy with the looks you guys generated. Some went down, some didn't. On the other end, KD and Booker are two of the tougher guys in the league and get into that mid-range area. Did you feel like, with all that said, the second quarter could have been where this game flipped and when they held you to 14 points?
Yeah, but no at the same time, because it's still the second quarter and you have another half to play. And I thought we came out of halftime and executed well and played well. I think we had a couple random possessions, third quarter, fourth quarter, that if we, really lock into, running our system and getting good looks, I feel like we, shot it fairly well. So you get a couple better looks and a couple stops, but like you said, that they got, three guys that are, going to be in the Hall of Fame for scoring the ball. KD being, number one on that list. He's one of the best, bucket getters that the league's ever seen. So you try to make it tough for him, and you kind of live with the results.
This group, if you go back to when Rui came into the starting lineup last season, closed 18-6. You start 3-0 and tight here with Phoenix kind of desperate not to lose to you twice. How comfortable are you feeling, and where do you guys still think you can grow as you get into the start of the season here?
Very comfortable. I feel like we're still building, continuity and togetherness throughout the system that this coaching staff has brought in. So we're still learning, every day to try to be better. And like Coach said at half, I think it was after the game, if we lock into being very fundamental, especially on the offensive end, every possession to get a good shot, then we're going to be tough to guard because, in that starting lineup and then off the bench as well, you got guys that can make shots, create plays. So, got to keep, fighting the good fight.
You're a guy who's, I think you've said a bunch of times that you hate losing more than you like winning. You've been in the locker room after 3 wins with JJ, and you've been in the locker room now after a loss. What was he like after a loss? Does he share that quality with you, you think?
Yeah, for sure. We've had, many of conversations on the golf course about, just the competitive nature, that he brings, that I bring, that this whole team brings, to be honest. But I felt like he was, very encouraging, talked about some of the things we did well, some of the things that he said that he thought he could have did better. And that just shows, what a great leader looks like. He came in and said that we probably should have went to, firing on KD a little earlier because he had it going. But you can look back in, the midst of the whole game and say we could have did this, and this. You just got to, accept the loss and, watch the film and get better from it.
It's early in the season, but are you encouraged by the care factor in here, like after a loss?
For sure. I mean, as he was walking out of the, he brought it up, said what he had to say as he was walking out. He let out, a nice little F word, which, just shows how much he cares. His passion is on another level. And you can tell every single second of every day that he's locked into, the betterment of our group.
LeBron, JJ obviously was frustrated with the loss, but he said he liked the process of the game and kind of like the way you're going. You've played in so many games now. What does that mean to you? Like the way the team plays, the process, and then kind of squaring with the results?
Because wins or losses is inevitable in this league. But how you play and how you continue to play, each and every week, each and every game is what define what type of team you want to be. So, I think even with the loss tonight, we still did some great things. Did some things we could have been better at, obviously. Had a 14-point second quarter. They got them back in the game. We had a quarter. When we started the quarter in the fourth quarter up 7, and we let them, get right back into the game. So we could be a lot better there, but we did a lot of good things as well.
Just, of course, came from Team USA and playing with Book and KD, and they're two of the tougher guys in those fourth quarter execution type scenarios, would say. How would you evaluate just how that back and forth battle?
They're two of the tough guys, 1 through 4 quarters. They'll never let you relax. So, when they got it going, it's very tough to stop them. And KD at his size, at his length, and his ability to put the ball on the ground and shoot the ball. Book with his ability to shoot mid-range threes, get in the paint, whatever. They keep you on your heels, and then Brad is still there too. So it's like, where do you get it from? They have a lot of firepower.
1920, you guys had a stated goal as a team not to lose 2 in a row, and you came pretty darn close to achieving that en route to the championship. AD just said that's the goal for this team too. How does it help a group to put out something like that and go for that?
You just want to be able to bounce back and not let the snowball turn into an avalanche. Obviously, when it comes to the loss column, so we know we're in the process. We still getting to know our system, still getting to know each other, out there on the floor. But we want to be able to not let losses come in bunches. So we look forward to the next matchup.
You almost got the offensive rebound on that missed free throw. JJ said that's something you guys have practiced. What would you see on that sequence?
Nothing. I mean, missed on purpose to try to get the offensive rebound. We had no more timeouts, and we didn't come away with it.
That's obviously has to be a tough thing to do, right? To intentionally miss. Are you in a perfect world? Do you want it to pop up, or is it just you want to make sure you hit the rim so it doesn't be the air ball?
Perfect world, you want to hit the rim, because if it does not hit the rim, then they take the ball out right away. So you want to try to hit the rim, get a ricochet. That's kind of unconventional, where it's like bouncing, no one knows where it's going. So I was able to get the rim, but it kind of bounced straight down, and Nurk got his hands on it first, and then it kind of bobbled around, and then Royce was able to get it and throw it down. So but we work on it. We get better with that in case we have that situation.
How are you feeling?
I've been better. You can hear it in my voice. Been better.
When did this kind of start?
Friday.
This group hasn't lost yet together. What was the mood in here after the game? Did you learn anything about JJ and his staff today, the way they handled their first?
We got a competitive team, and no one is happy about the loss. We had our chances to win this game, and we didn't, so nobody's happy about it.
You've obviously played well going back as a Laker in Cleveland. They're off to a really good start this year. Still thinking about this game, but any early thoughts about bouncing back against a tough team on the East Coast?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough playing that first East Coast game on a road trip. So we know what they've been able to do over the last couple of years, and it's like they've picked it up from last year to get better and better. They're also with a new coaching staff as well, but they're playing good ball. They have a great starting lineup. They have some guys that come off the bench to compliment them. Donovan and some of those guys as well. So. Obviously DG, one of the heads of the snake at the point guard position, and then Mobley and Allen. So we got to be ready for a physical game. It's an East Coast game, so East Coast games are usually physical. We just see what we got.
Last question.
Any guess what that's going to feel like for you to run on that court with Bronny? That court specifically?
No, I don't. But it's definitely going to be very special to be back home. And be able to, run on the floor, with my son, who spent a lot of time on that floor throughout my days, when I played there for 11 years.
AD, just starting in the first half, you guys obviously had the big run, playing really well. I'm sure you expected Phoenix to battle back. What did they do in that second quarter to limit you some, and then how did you get out of that and kind of restore things in the second half?
You as in the team?
The team. Just the kind of whole group in the second quarter.
I mean, we scored 14 points. We had a good defensive quarter. 25. 50 for the half. We just couldn't score the basketball in that second quarter, which kind of hurt us. A lot was some turnovers, some tough shots on our end, shoot some tough shots. We can't have a 14-point quarter. As good as we are offensively, as a team and individually, having 14 points is a tough quarter. Was able to recover from it. And then KD made some very tough shots, some tough contested twos, and still had to lead. Got to stop, and we missed the offensive rebound. Goes over my head. And then, close out to Royce O'Neal. 85% of his shots are three, so tried to run him off the line and he hit a floater. But I think our execution down the stretch was really good. Brian had an open three. He slipped, which allowed them to foul. Yard had a terrific look. But I think that, that 14-point quarter, kind of hurt us a little bit.
Yeah, JJ alluded to that he liked the process of the game, kind of as you just described it, the way you guys were getting shots. Other than that exception in the second quarter, how do you feel then overall? You take the 3 wins. This is a tough loss, but the team seems like it's on pretty solid ground the way that you're playing on both ends.
Yeah, I mean, nobody in the history went 82-0. I mean, we don't expect to lose, but we're realists. And, realistically, we're probably gonna lose a game. Obviously, we didn't want to start off just with the first loss on this trip, but it happened. I like the way the guys competed. We played extremely hard, and we bounced back against a Cleveland team. They win tonight.
Yeah,
4-0 team. Another team is playing extremely well. So, we got to go in and try to not lose 2 in a row. Got the mentality for us all year, never lose 2 in a row.
The success rate for an intentional missed free throw is kind of like an onside kick in football. Like, it doesn't convert all that often. What'd you make of the one that LeBron went for? It was kind of like a dart.
You kind of want it kind of hit and bounce up. It's just tough. No one ever practices, those shots. It was like a dart and shot straight down, what you try, and if you're able to get it, great. If not, you can foul quickly, but, it went straight down and the ball started bobbling everywhere, which wasted maybe like 4 seconds, off the clock, and they end up getting the ball and just throwing it ahead. So, there's nothing you can really do about it, but that's the idea of trying to, get the ball back and score.
You guys started 3-0 means that tonight's actually the first loss of JJ's coaching career that matters also, and he was seemingly taking it pretty hard. He said it's on him. If you guys ever score 14 and a quarter, it's on him. What's the proper accountability process as you guys work with the new coaching staff?
Yeah, I think it's on all of us, not just him. Obviously, he's a coach and he's gonna, try to take the blame. But we score 14 points to players, right? So it's things that we could have did better as a group, coaching staff and players, But we didn't. We learned from it. We watched film on it, how we can not have another 14-point quarter this season, and learn from our mistakes. But he's pretty pissed. I mean, we're all pissed. Just because of how well we're playing, and no one likes to lose. I think everyone here is a competitor, where any loss you kind of take pretty heavy. And we watch film tomorrow, and then get ready for a team that's been kicking ass.
Last question.
I was going to say, you guys have talked, JJ's just spoken to us about process and giving himself grace and different things like that. When you have a new coach and he comes here and you're in the first loss, like Dave said, he was pissed. What does that tell you about him as a competitor? Does it say anything kind of about his approach?
The way he was mad, I'm not going to say what I was thinking, but I'll say it off camera. But he's we'll be ready for Wednesday. We'll be ready for Wednesday. Yeah.
Thanks, AD.
JJ, what do you think was ultimately the difference in the game?
Said we wanted to be a process team. I liked our process tonight. I like the way we started the game. We talked about getting off to a great start, similar to how they played us on Friday in LA. We did that. I like our level of competition and compete on the defensive end. They put you in a lot of tough spots, and they have some elite individual shot makers. I have to go watch it, but felt like in some ways we lost to Kevin Durant and Devin Booker's ability to make tough twos. Thought our execution down the stretch was phenomenal. There's one thing to nitpick. It's probably me. I probably should have gone to the fire a possession or two earlier against KD. But I liked that group that we had out there defensively. I trust those guys. And then the other thing I would say is, like, we should never have a 14-point quarter. So that's on me as well. That's part of that is me. I got to make sure we're running good offense. But like, it was a little random. We got stalled out. We talked about it at halftime. For us to be a high-level offense, we've got to move bodies and we've got to move the ball. And that they got to screen, and they just kind of took us out of what we were doing initially, and we were great in the second half. We executed great in the second half. It just, that second quarter really hurt us.
And then you mentioned fire. You just mean like blitzing Durant later? Is that yeah? Okay.
When LeBron did the intentional miss free throw, what was your vantage point of that? And is that something in your short amount of time you guys been together you've been able to ever do in a practice or anything?
We communicated that. Yeah. So everybody that was on the floor knew what was happening, and it was an insane miss, to be honest with you. I don't know that I've ever seen an intentional miss that hit the bottom of the rim and then went straight down. Look, we had no timeouts. It was a choice that we made. I think that's the right choice, and I'd make that choice again. With that amount of time, they fouled up 3. So even if we fouled earlier on that play, they've got, great free throw shooters. They're going to foul us again. So we had to get that. We had to get that possession for us to have a chance to tie or win the game.
JJ, another choice. With 40 seconds or so to go, you guys had that timeout, and you drew up that play for Austin. Got him a really good look there. What was kind of the 2-3 sort of calculus in that moment?
We would have been fine with either.
You mentioned the overall process. 80's first quarter. Just kind of what did you see in terms of the shots you guys were creating for him, and how did Phoenix adjust to try and make that harder on him, I guess, as the game went on?
I don't really know that they made it harder on him. I thought when we were intentional about getting the ball, we did. Some of the stuff in that first quarter wasn't even us spoon feeding him. It was a lot, transition, running the floor. Got a couple layups off D-low passes. I'll go back and I'll figure out where we could be a little better with that. But, I thought he was involved, and, I thought down the stretch, going to that AR pick and roll with him, that just felt like the right thing, and they executed it. We got good offense out of that.
JJ, it's rare to see LeBron in single digits that late into a game. He obviously hits the big 3 to kind of keep the game close, but goes 3 for 14. What did you see from him offensively?
Yeah, I would say for him and our group, to be honest with you, we missed a lot of paint 2s, and for him, those are shots that he makes. He had in the fourth, he had that miss on the lefty lay, and missed a couple of those one-leggers that were right there in the paint. I thought we gave him the space. They were very intentional about flooding when he was on that ISO on either wing. So something we probably need to talk about how we want to combat that against teams that do that. But I thought our spacing was, for the most part, really good. There was a clip we showed at halftime where we didn't get to our proper spacing, but other than that, I felt like we gave him space on those ISOs, and we all just missed shots in the paint.
We've talked about Rui and just what you've asked of him. It seems like some of that's been decisiveness, especially on his drives. How much have you emphasized that with him? I guess what have you made of his early start to the season in that regard?
Yeah, I said this after last game. Shoot open 3s, drive closeouts, and crash the glass. Very simple game for him. And he's also an elite cutter. He's had a number of big buckets in our first 3 games just off cutting. He's got a real knack for that.